Hello friends, welcome to my channel. My name is Hilary and today I am starting the June 2nd vlog. So today is 27th of June, so this will be just a couple of last days of June. I haven't read a lot. I have read 3 books this month, so 2 for the first half of the June that got carried over to the 20th of June or so. And after Echo, that was my last book that I vlogged. I started listening audiobook. What was it called? Love in the Light by Laura Kay, and this is the second book in the Heart of Darkness duology, and this is contemporary romance or smut. So the first book, I enjoyed it. It was okay. Basically, we had a female that is a little bit shy, getting stuck for 4 hours or so in an elevator with a dude who is heavily tattooed and has a little bit of mental issues. PTSD mostly, doesn't like blackness because when he was younger he got in a car accident and spent there for many hours, and his younger brother and mother died, so he has that and some other anxiety and all of those issues. And it was quite decent. We got to know the characters and the characters got to know each other without any preconceived thoughts, and basically at the end they banged and started dating or something. And the second book is taking place 2 months after that, and I didn't enjoy it. I don't think that the first book needed a sequel, and also we had so much drama with another dude coming in and professing his love to the main character that she didn't care about. We had several accidents and miscommunications and all of that, and honestly we barely had any smut scenes, so I gave it 2.5 stars, and yes, I didn't enjoy it. So before I go for my next book, I'll go over what I have filled out for Whateverthon, because I don't think I have talked about that at all. So I joined this Shelf Slayers and I vouched 7 books because I have been reading about 10 to 14 books in a month. Although a little bit maybe more if they're shorter, but I also knew I had a little bit slump going on, and usually I read a lot less in the summer, so I put 7, which is a little bit more than my basic 6 usually, but also it's not too much. So the first, I'm not sure if I'm going to manage to beat that goal. We'll see. Today's Monday. I'm officially starting my vacation, but I am working some of the days, so I thought about taking today, Monday and Tuesday, and trying to just read a lot. Although we are having 30 degrees outside right now, and it's really hot in the apartment also, and outside and everywhere else. So we'll see how well that goes. I have 4 days left of the month, so maybe I can knock a couple of books off. So for the first book, that was Misrule by Heather Walters, I knocked off color on the cover. I did randomize and I got a purple color on the cover. Then I got Guilt-Free Activity, and that was me just taking a day and reading. It's a hybrid genre. I picked it. It's a fairy tale retelling, fantasy, and I thought it kind of fitted that one. And also different format, since I was mainly audiobooking it, and if we take how I'm reading, I'm mainly reading ebooks and then physical books, and least read format is for me audiobooks usually. And that I think was it. Then for the second book, that was Echo by Thomas Hilbert, and that is a book I picked up in Amsterdam. I used that for cozy reading time, so I just, again, took time to read. And then it was one word title, and also less read genre because it's a horror book, and also last letter, first letter, so I knocked that off, and I was so happy because I was worried that I couldn't manage to fill that prompt. And with that, I got my first bingo in the middle. For the third book, so Love in Light in the Heart, was it Light in the Heart? Love in the Light, Love in the Light. I took the prompts under 300 pages. Continuous series, so this was second book in a series, and I also finished the series. And I also picked complete personal goal, and one of my personal goals is to finish series, so that fitted it all. And I think that's it, what I use for my bingo board. So for the next, I have 3 books that, well, mainly it was 2 books that I was thinking that I could knock off some of the prompts. One is A Wizard's Guide to Defensive Baking by T. Kingfisher, and it has been on my list for some time. I found it on Scribd, so I thought about that. And the second one was Iron Widow, so this is last year's Illumigrate book. So I decided that I'm gonna pick this one, and I had one prompt that it was really hard to get. It's also host failed, so I could have knocked this off. And I decided that I'm gonna pick this one and put a poll in the Discord, and hopefully it will win. And I pitted it against The Girl Who Fell Beneath the Sea. And after submitting the poll between these 2 books, this was winning, and I was really, really happy. However, this didn't win. So I think this will be my second or third book. Hopefully I can get 2, so because this can knock off the host fail. And also 2021 release, favorite genre, so I could knock this off. For the Wizard's Guide to Defensive Baking, I could knock off Purple Cover and Weapon on the Cover, and those 2 are a little bit hard to knock off. But since the poll picked me The Girl Who Fell Beneath the Sea by Axie O, so I'm gonna read this one. And this is a retelling. I don't know the original story, but it is about a place in Asia. It's said that it is historical fiction in Goodreads, so I'm not sure about that. But basically, they're living in a land where they have the Sea King, who usually grants them favors. However, in the past couple of years or more, he hasn't been very favorable, lots of storms going on, lots of wars, and basically the people are sacrificing one girl each year to the Sea King to appease him, and they have this legend that if they pick the correct girl, the Sea King will finally give them peace and good weather. However, what happens, these are main character, somehow mixes it up and sacrifices herself for the Sea King, and then is trying to basically win some favor for their people. So I have read just the first chapter, and that basically covered all of that. So it is just 321 pages, so hopefully I can read it, finish it maybe today evening or maybe tomorrow. It has quite a big font, not a lot of text. That is one of the advances of young adult books. So hopefully I can finish this one, and I'm not sure whether I'm gonna take the Wizard's Guide to Defensive Baking or Iron Widow next. I think I'm gonna just see and try to fill this out. But I'll try to come back when I've read this a little bit more and give you my opinions on this. So it's the next morning, and surprisingly I read the whole book The Girl Who Fell Beneath the Sea yesterday. So it does show that I did enjoy it, and also it was a really fast read. As I said before, it had a huge font. But I really enjoyed this book. I liked the subjects, the theme, it talked about fate and doing what you wish, not what is predestined for you to do. However, there were some problems. What I'm finding with Fairy Loot or Illumigrate books, the young adult ones, is that the world and everything else is really interesting. The main storyline sounds interesting. However, there isn't a lot of plot. And also, it's a very, what was it called? Plot conveniences. Basically, the main character in here goes to a room and she doesn't find what she wants. And she's like, but there should be more rooms. So she just looks at the painting and touches it and a secret door opens. And it also kind of felt to me a lot, it gave me very much middle grade book vibes. Like if we take out the whole marrying the sea god and the love aspect, then it could be, if we take just she trying to save the sea god, I mean not king, so it could be a middle grade book without no problems. So my problems with this were the lack of plot, and it felt really a lot middle grade, which isn't bad. However, even with middle grade, for example, I read the Winter House trilogy at the beginning of the year. There was also a lot of plot conveniences, but also they had riddles that they were trying to figure out, and it didn't take them just a second to figure them out. So it did have some like problematic aspects and everything else, but she in this one just, oh, we're gonna do this, we're gonna just figure everything out and everything will be fine. And so yes, I gave it 3.5. So for me, a 5-star book is something I definitely want to reread. 4-star is a really good book, but I probably don't want to reread it. I'm fine with that. 3 is average, which means that it might have a good storyline, good interesting characters, but also there's some parts wrong. For example, lack of plot in this one, but I still enjoyed the book. And 2-star is there are more problematic aspects than just 1 or 2 things, and they are quite big and destructive of the story. And 1-star is mainly, why did that book get written even? But yeah, so I'm gonna put it on my red shelf. And the next book I am picking up is before that, so this finished the end of a prompt recently hauled, so I hauled it in the spring. I'm taking that as recently. What else was there? A poll pick, and I also joined yesterday Princess Springs, so I added that one here also, and I got 1 bingo on top row, so I have 2 bingos collected. So I'm about 50% into the Wizard's Guide to Defensive Baking by T. Kingfisher, and I'm absolutely loving it. So about 15 minutes in, I said it's gonna be a 5-star read. I'm still thinking it. It is very nice, easy to listen, fast-paced, funny, enjoyable read. So this is about the main character. She lives in a world where some people have different kind of magical powers, but most of them have different ones. A lot of them don't even know they have that power. For example, there should be a girl who can talk to tornadoes, so but they don't have tornadoes, so she basically has no magical skills, and our main character can work with dough. So literally, she's a baker. And what happens is she discovers a dead body and a plot that somebody is killing all the people with magical skills, and she becomes the target herself, and she is trying to figure out what is going on, who is doing the killings, trying to survive, and it's really nice and fun story. I laughed out loud lots of times. There are very nice, unique, non-human characters in this one. Ooh, that I could use in one of my prompts for the SFF readathon, Reddit one, but I think I have T. Kingfisher down for something else. But yeah, there are there is Gingerbread Man, there is Kinda Living Sourdough thingy. So absolutely recommend reading this, and I don't think my rating will get any lower by the end of the book. I have 2 hours still to listen. I listen it 2 times speed, so all in together it's 4 hours, just halfway in, and I'll be coming back when I'm finishing this. Hey, I'm back. I'm just here to give a little update. So I finished The Wizard's Guide to Defensive Baking. I really enjoyed it. Loved the book. Definitely recommend reading it. And then I started The Wife Upstairs. So The Wife Upstairs is Jane's Eyre retelling, where basically we have plain Jane who is walking talks in a really fancy neighborhood, and a dude tries to run her over with a car, and that is the main character and the main character, and they start flirting, and he invites to live with them. However, as we know from Jane Eyre, the wife upstairs is there. Everybody thinks she's dead, so we are figuring out what happened with her, but also our Jane isn't an innocent bystander, so she has a dark past. And I'm a little bit over halfway in. I'm mostly enjoying it, although I think the book itself also, I'm sorry for the bad angles, the book itself I think takes it as a little bit of, I'm gonna ridiculize this whole thing. So I'm enjoying it, but is it the greatest mystery thriller? No. We'll see. I'll come back later when I've finished this. I can't remember if I told you, but here is the defensive guides, the Wizard's Guide to Defensive Baking, what prompts it fulfilled, and by the end of Jane Eyre I still have 1 prompt unfilled, and that is the host favorite that I hoped that I could read Iron Widow. However, today is the 30th. I was a little bit slower yesterday and the day before with reading, so I'm not reading the host favorite, and I'm just gonna cancel that, so I won't get my final 2 bingos. However, I'll try to knock off some shorter books, so I've at least filled out the 7 books goal that I had, but I'll come back later when I've finished The Wife Upstairs, and maybe when I've picked something else to read. So I can't remember, but I don't think I gave you my final thoughts on The Wife Upstairs. So with mystery thrillers, if I'm watching a movie, I usually can tell who is the bad guy really easily, what's the plot. For example, in one movie, I can't remember what it was, we were watching it like 5-10 minutes maximum in, and I basically told the whole plotline and who's the bad guy and everything else. With books, I don't like to do that. I just want to see where it goes. So I did find that twists at the end, they were a little bit, not a big surprise, but I still liked it where it went mostly. I didn't like the characters at the end as much as at the beginning, but I enjoyed that book quite a lot. And this book gave me quite a lot of bingos. So it was on my previous TBR. I put it down as a spooky book. It's a mystery thriller, and also 2021 release, and that gave me some additional, I don't know, was it 6 bingos or something like that. So the only thing left is Host Fame, and I was planning on reading Iron Widow for that, because I have it, and from what I have it was one of the short books. However, I didn't have time, so I forsake my bingo board, and I picked Desperate Measures by Katie Robert as my last book, so I could read something short and get my goal of 7 books down. What can I tell you is I'm not a big fan of Disney movies. I don't breed everything about them. I think most of them are okay, and I do occasionally watch them, especially because my husband loves animated cartoons, basically. So I do watch them, but I've never been like watching them again and again and again, and honestly I don't even know if I have seen all of them, especially the really old ones. I know I watched Lion King when I was quite older, I think pre-teens or something like that. And honestly, I never liked it that much. I've probably seen, I think one I haven't seen is really old Cinderella and things like that. But I have seen something and probably don't remember most of them. So Desperate Measures is a Wicked Villains series. Basically, these are different pairings of Disney characters, and usually they are the main female, I'm guessing, with the bad dude. So the first one is between Jasmine and Jafar, and I think the bad guy in this one is Ali, who is Aladdin, maybe? Not sure. We didn't get the exact connection, and honestly, I barely know that. I think I have watched the new Aladdin movie, maybe. So basically, the idea is that Jafar and Jasmine's father are basically bad dudes, kind of mob bosses, something like that, and Jasmine is a little princess that is being held captive and all of that. So honestly, I didn't feel the characters much. However, there were very graphic scenes of smut. That is a nice change between all the other smut books I've read that barely have any sex scenes in it. But I didn't get into it, maybe because I'm not a big fan of Disney. It was lacking a lot of plot. It wasn't very... there was a general plot, but it didn't play a lot into it because we didn't see like other scenes. I do like when there's a plot also, not just smut scenes. And also the ending, I found that the characters were very out of character than the rest of the book. They changed a lot in the last scene or two. So it wasn't very believable, but still I'm going to go and at some point finish this whole series and see how I'll like the other books. But for now, yes, I have it here. So I read in the Whateverthon 7 books, and that was my goal, so yay me, because I was pretty certain that I won't manage that goal. I read 2,227 pages. That is the least I think I have read this year. I read 2,600, so 400 more pages in May, but that is because of, I think I was doing some sort of readathon with the 48-hour readathon something, Bookopoli, I think, where I read a lot of short books at the end. And I got a total 7,527 points. I didn't finish Bingo Board, as I said before. I didn't read the House Favorite, but I read all the rest. But this is about it for this vlog. I do hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching, and bye.